Got my Lotus juice.
Okay, your Lotus juice. That could be taken the wrong way.
I got a drink of water so that I can do my Lotus voice.
Okay.
That's what I meant. Shall we begin?
Yes. Hey guys, Angry Monkey here.
And Jackson Ferrell from Hot Pile of Garbage.
We're playing some more 999. We got out of the first room in door 2. Now we're in the second room in door 2. And with an electric chair.
And we're going to use a wrench to take off some bolts and find the shiny thing. I bet it's a sun.
This is going to be a small sun.
The hole's too small! You can't see in, even with the cover off!
Well, you can't see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in.
Are you sure you want to do that?
No, that's why I said your arm.
There could be something dangerous in there.
That's right, that's why it's your arm.
Okay, I admit that scares me a little, but we need to see if there's anything useful in there. If I still had that towel, I could wrap it around my arm. Which would surely protect me from anything dangerous in there. Small, cold, and hard. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in here. Alright, let's see what this thing is.
The sun key.
Okay.
Here comes the sun key.
Angry Sun Key Games.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you. Sun key should fit into the keyhole on these manacles.
Okay.
Alright, Sun Key, in you go. And yes. Great, they're open. I don't think we're going to need the Sun Key again in here, though. Just seems unlikely.
Goodbye, Sun Key.
Alright, Sun Key, you've done your job. Into my pocket with you.
I was going to say, you might need that Sun Key to open up one of those doors outside, so at least he's stuck in his pocket. It wasn't one of those, well, don't need you anymore. Bye, Sun Key.
Fling it over your shoulder.
Junpei, why are you waving at the key that you threw?
Because my sanity meter's in the red. Can't you see it?
If I could see a sanity meter, then I'd also be insane.
The restraining device is unlocked. Please seat subject in device.
The message on the screen was disturbingly detached.
Well, like we thought, it's not going to work unless someone sits in it.
Oh, are you volunteering, Lotus?
No! How ironic that this would be the situation in which this slim, beautiful body is useful. Well, I guess I am. Volunteering.
Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it, and you can solve...
Junpei's right. If we screw it up... Seven couldn't bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell to the floor where the shark was. Junpei followed them.
The shark.
Beneath them was the dead shark, floating underneath the glass. Perhaps it had been killed by an electric shock.
I'll be fine.
I guess I called that.
Yep.
Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead.
But...
No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair, too. You know, I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen and let's get this over with.
After her words had been made clear that Lotus would build no argument, she turned and walked toward the chair without hesitation. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook.
Look, do you think you could do me one last favor?
Don't say last.
You're making me nervous.
Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters that I love them very much. No, tell them that I will always love them.
Daughters?
You've got kids?
Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei.
Wow, she is old.
Well, I mean, Junpei's in his early 20s, so she probably is in her mid-40s, so, I mean, that's still accurate.
Their
names are Nona and...
Wait, Nona?
Junpei's words shot out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered the story that Seven had told him. Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were there in the experiment, I mean. Oh, I guess I should have done that in Seven's voice instead of narrator voice, but whatever.
What the poop? What's wrong with you?
I was speaking in the narrator voice. Lotus took a step back from Junpei. Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly, as if he weren't sure if he was completely awake. No way, it couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashirabara? Kashirabara? Yeah, Kashirabara. That's...
Those are tasty. Sometimes I, get them at the Japanese restaurant down the street.
Lotus's eyes went wide.
How do you know that?
Are you serious? What is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom.
That kid? What do you mean, that kid? Why are you acting like you've met her?
Seven's brow furrowed. I have.
What?
Yeah, I met one of your kids.
When?
9 years ago.
Where?
On this ship.
Why were you...
It's not a short story.
I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please. What happened here?
Seven glanced at Junpei, then turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei had heard only minutes before. Every detail. Okay, so ... Okay,
Yep, here we are again. Seven doing his thing. Solving crimes.
And then losing his memory.
Yeah, everyone's got some sort of connection to each other.
At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head.
Oh my god! Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years! The person who had all of the answers was right here!
Looking for?
Yes, that's right! 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. Then 9 days later, they came back.
9 days.
9 years.
They never told me what had happened to them over those 9 days.
Zero's got this all planned out to a T.
Yeah.
I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt in any way. Still, I was sure that they'd been through something terrible. So I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. If I did, then I'd force them to relive whatever horrors they'd been through. I didn't have any choice. I had to try to ignore it and move on. A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had, before they disappeared. They smiled and made jokes, and did all the silly things kids do. It got harder and harder for me to ask about what had happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there was no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget that something terrible had happened to my children. So I decided I would investigate what happened on my own. I would find out what happened during those 9 missing days.
What did you find out?
Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Once the 16 children who'd gone missing came back, things were just swept under the rug. Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured someone was probably paying or threatening them to keep their mouths shut.
Cradle Pharmaceutical. No, probably something even bigger than that.
Cradle Pharmaceutical.
Have you heard of them before?
No, that's the first time I've ever heard that name. 7, how did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceutical was connected to the kidnappings in the first place?
I figured finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does.
What did they have in common?
Every single one of the kids who disappeared had gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital was one of a bunch that were under the control of Cradle Pharmaceutical. After that, It was just about connecting the dots.
The hospital!
The hospital.
The hospital. For a while, I was trying to get some kind of story out of the kids at the hospital.
The hospital?
The hospital.
The hospital!
The hospital. One of them told us a weird story.
What was it?
Have you heard about the Gansfeld experiment? I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were at the hospital.
No, we're not going down that road again.
The hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling. 7 cleared his throat and proceeded to explain the Gansfeld experiment.
Now, is this a real thing?
That's a good question. First, subjects Q and A are put in separate rooms far away from one another. Then a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them.
ESP. Telepathy.
Subject A, on the other hand, is put in a large reclining chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what images Q is looking at.
Oh yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it?
Telepathy. Telepathy. Junpei rolled the word over in his mind.
It's the same number of syllables as the word the hospital. That's how the experiment on this ship was supposed to work.
The experiment to control people, right?
Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists, but maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceutical bought into it.
Lotus grunted. Yeah, we heard that. 7 had been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke. He spoke.
Bicycle spoke.
Even if that's the case, I still don't get how that has anything to do with any of this. The nonary game. 0. Why we were kidnapped. What does any of that have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but I have no idea. Maybe none of the stuff is connected after all. Then, in that moment of silence,
Dun dun dun.
a cold voice echoed down from the ceiling. Okay,
No subject has been detected. Unless a subject is detected within 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat subject in the restraining device.
that was almost a GLaDOS voice.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I assume it's a compliment, though I wouldn't want to be anything like GLaDOS.
Well, I mean, I was impressed.
Well, thank you.
Well,
I'll just take a bow for all the viewers not to see.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going.
Oh, no, that's not what we...
Just hurry up and get it over with! Junpei, I'm counting on you!
Right. Showtime. Get in that chair, Lotus.
Lotus sat down on that chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor.
Lotus, please tell me right away if you feel anything weird.
You worry too much! Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you!
Okay.
Why would I care about that? Gosh, Lotus, jump to conclusions here.
Lotus was putting on the best act she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much that if she hadn't been sitting, she likely would have fallen down. Failure was not acceptable. Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor.
There's the monitor, all right.
Okay, so basically it's like the other puzzle, but we got to do it from all three. We got to do it from 3 sides.
Okay. Let's see. So that turns that. That turns them that.
Yeah, because whatever you're doing on this side might also be affecting the other sides.
Okay. So when we look at each hemisphere, it's like rotating them or making the pointy ends come out, and that adds to the thing. This was always the hardest part.
Mm.
Like with the Rubik's Cube, I'd get one side,
Right.
and I wouldn't want to mess it up. But you gotta be willing to make that mess in order to clean things up.
Exactly.
Which is so counterintuitive, but at the same time, so true. Let's see. Maxing out all the switches to 2 doesn't get us anywhere. Let's try and make some sense of this. That turns that off, which is unprogress. That gets that into place. What do things look like on the other side now? Still not nearly enough business going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be not correct, but very, very close.
We just need a way of changing what's going on here. Okay, 1, 2. That's way too much on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we were so close! So close! I almost had it, I swear! That's nowhere near correct. I'm thinking if I try to brute force it, then, like, I'll just calculate how many. I'm going to turn everything back off. I'm going to calculate how many nodes each switch position generates in each hemisphere. So, this is, we're going to call this upper left. Position 1 generates 2 in upper left and 2 in lower right. Okay, position 2 generates, it keeps the 2 in upper left. It had 2 in lower right before and 2 in, gosh, I feel like I need a piece of paper. You know what? After the recording session, I will give you this piece of paper so that you can throw it up and show everyone the scrawlings of a madman. That's, I just realized I turned my back to the mic as I said scrawlings of a madman.
Well,
Hopefully
that's because you're a madman, so you're
yeah,
not.
Just staying in character. So we've got upper left. Actually, we're gonna call the switches A, B, C, and D, and we're gonna call the respective hemispheres upper left, upper right, lower left, and lower right. We need 7 in the upper left and 6 in the lower left. So let's put C in the 1 position.
Before we do that, should we make this a long episode and just go ahead and figure this out?
Well, a lot of my, I kind of thought you were gonna
Edit
trim,
some of that?
yeah, trim
Okay.
out some of this nonsense. Just because I mean, sometimes it's not about the destination; it's about the journey. But this is not one of those times.
Okay, so I guess I'll just go ahead and make it a long episode and cut some of that.
Yeah,
some
I
of that
guess
out.
so.
I'll keep some of it in there, so that way people will be like, "What is he doing?"
Yeah, yeah, and I'll give you my my final notes here. So we throw C1 in here. I mean, you can just pick and choose from the stuff I'm saying, and you know, maybe we should throw an episode ender and an opener in here just in case you want to carry over to the next. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
I don't know what you're doing either.
Oh, I'm off the deep end.
Your sanity meter is almost gone. I mean,
Yeah, like, I'm inventing new sectors here. It's more than 90 degrees.
The insanity meter has gone so far that it's basically upside down now.
Yeah, just kind of dangling there. I broke the sanity meter, guys. Okay, well, let's see. So we've got that. We need to get a 7 and a 6, so, what if we... How else could we get... we could put D or A into either of their two positions. Except... this chart is no help at all! Yeah!
Do you want me to try? Because I don't remember the answer, but do you want me to try, or are you going to try to do this yourself?
Well, I mean, there's... we basically got two options. Just fiddle around until something clicks, or try to make some sense of my chart. And I've like, I wish I'd written them all out in columns instead of, like, you see you got your LRs over here, and your LRs over here, and here, and here. So they're just all over the place.
You did say this was a madman, so...
Yep. Yep. I don't even remember in what context I said that. Let's just try and click some things on and off.
I didn't realize that room 2 was going to take as long as it
did. Yeah, welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. Let's see. So A1 gives us... well, I'll write these all out here. B, 1, 2, C, 1, 2, D, 1, 2. A1, 2 is 2 there, and 2 there. And position 2 is 2 there, 2 there, 1 there. B is 2 and 1, or how did they expect anyone to figure this out?
I figured it out. I mean, not right now, but I figured it out before. I probably spent a good 10 minutes on it.
How did you do it?
Well, my secret was just clicking things.
Trial and error?
Yeah.
Well, that seems to have worked better than this nonsense garbage.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't think your notes are going to be that helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might prove me wrong. You might have discovered the trick, but
lower left has got to be 6. So I mean, the question is, how can we get 6? What else? Like B2, C1, D1, and D2 are the only positions that alter lower left, right? I mean, am I correct?
You're the one with the notes, so
okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm gonna double check that just to make sure. A1 does not alter that at all. So B2. Yeah, that does tell us that B2 is necessary, which we've got, and C1 is also necessary.
Okay.
Like C1's got to be the case, and either of the D positions will fill out that thing. See, I've got that going on correct.
Okay.
So now let's see what we can do to lock in.
Let's see.
Yes, let's see. Sí, señor. Es buena idea. Bueno idea. It's been a while since I took Spanish. A. Switch A could turn... if I flip switch A, we can add 2, whichever position, to the upper left hemisphere and round that out. So the question is, what do we need in the lower... the upper right and the lower right? What can we get out of A to get us closer? We need 2 in the upper right and 1 in the lower right. So if we flip switch A, to position 2, then we should...
Do we actually got it? Oh,
Hallelujah!
wow! Wow, we actually got it!
Booyah!
It only took us... Well, I mean, this was... 35 minutes, but that was from... that was also including Lotus's dialogue, but...
Yeah.
Future me, put up there how long it took him to solve this puzzle, because I'm going to edit some of this out.
Yeah. There's my notes.
I'm going to take a picture of it just in case it gets lost, but... What are you doing? Oops, I didn't mean to take a picture of your table. Oh, I got part of your coaster with the dragon on it.
Oh, yes. And all the viewers can see the dragon now, can't they?
Yeah.
There's clearly a dragon there.
Okay, so...
Now that I've gone off the deep end, shall we end the episode?
Yes, we're going to end this episode and then come back and really be out of this room.
And our minds.
I'm not. You might be. I'm not. But anyway, we're going to see you guys in the next episode. And
yeah, we'll see you then.
Goodbye. Okay. Wow. Oh, I never even realized that this was a possibility for...
Solutionizing it?
Yeah, I like I said, I just kind of did trial and error, and I got it to work in 10 minutes or so.